Welcome, Sacramento soccer fans, to the State of the Republic podcast. I'm your host, Luis, and in today's episode, we have a few things to talk about. But first things first, we have a special guest. So we'll start with our special guest tonight. It's Coach Filip Handl. He's actually the Sac Republic FC manager, youth soccer programming. So he's here to tell us more about the Unified Sac Republic team. And so we'll have him on here at the beginning. Afterwards, as usual, we'll go through Gloss of Gratitude. We'll talk about yesterday's 2-0 match and what was a brace by Khori Bennett, his first brace with us, and what also gave us a really good 3 points that we know is much needed, especially in this Western Conference that can move teams from 8th place to 5th place from one week to the other. So we'll talk about that. And of course, our upcoming opponent, Tampa Bay Rowdies, the team that we'll see our coach make his return over to the place he called home for quite some time there. So we'll talk about that. And of course, USL standings and podcast winner dinner. I know Rihanna is probably the one that's most excited to talk about that. So Sharon, maybe not as much. So we'll see that banter maybe that we saw last week happen today. We'll see if it happens next week, but it's looking like it might continue to happen, but we'll see. It's still anyone's game there. Awesome. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce our SOTR team. First, let's go over to, let's go to Natomas with the person who is currently in first place for podcast winner dinner and still wearing the crown, by the way. Rian, how's it going, Rian?
Yeah, it's going good here in Natomas. I'm still on top of the podcast winner dinner standings. You know what, Luis? Can we just do this podcast like you and me? You don't have to invite anyone else to this podcast. I think it'll be good. But yeah, all's good. And Thomas happy to be talking more Republic.
Well, we have a special guest with Filip, so at least we gotta have him.
True. Okay.
I mean, it's
between the hosts.
Next, let's go over to the city of Elk Grove because I gotta hear from Sharon because Rihanna's on the podcast now. How's it going, Sharon?
I am not frozen, but I do want to freeze that guy so that he doesn't get any more points. Oh my gosh, he doesn't want me on this podcast tonight because he's just like riding high and he wants the glory all to himself, but I love it. Everything is great in Elk Grove. It's hotter than sin, in California for anybody who's not in California. But you know what? You just live with it. We love it.
Yeah, actually, you pointed towards me though. I wish I was the one that was in first. Yeah, I was like, unfortunately, I'm not the one that's in first.
I thought I was smacking.
Yeah. Sharon, you can take out Luis all you want. I'm fine over here.
Hey, we'll get to that part in a little bit. Maybe I can have Philip be my proxy. I don't know. Maybe he's got some swagger.
Yeah, I mean, it's been known that some people sometimes have hidden proxies, right? Not unofficial proxies.
Unofficial. Yeah.
So that's happened. Next, let's go over to Texas with Jared. How's it going, Jared?
Yeah. Now that I'm done fighting the mute button here tonight. No, I've just enjoyed my last weekend of working because as of this week, I'll be working Monday through Fridays like a lot of other folks and enjoying the cold weather, rainy weather up until today, but definitely looking forward to talking about the match tonight, and of course our special guest as well. So that's always a treat.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and introduce our special guest. And Sharon, would you go ahead and do us the honors?
Yeah, sure. So my friend Filip Handl is here tonight with us, and he's going to tell us about the fundraiser to get our unified team to Colorado so that they can play a match in a little while. Well, not in a little while, as in a few hours, but he'll let us know all the details about how to participate, how to help with the fundraiser, and all of the good stuff, and a little bit of the background on the team itself and his involvement with it. And I appreciate you joining us tonight, Filip. Thank you so much.
Oh, hey guys. No, awesome. Thanks for having me. I'll drop the cliche line, long-time listener, first-time caller, but thanks for having me on to talk Unified with y'all.
So share a little bit. I mean, you gave me a scarf and I was so appreciative of this scarf, and I have it in Michael, not even up yet. It's so special. It stays on the chair.
There you go. Yeah, no. For those who don't know, Sac Republic's kind of underground team is a partnership with Special Olympics, and it's our unified team. Unified sports being where you take a roster of athletes with intellectual disabilities and put them on the field alongside athletes without intellectual disabilities, playing together on the same team with the same objectives, working together like good teammates do, and taking on other teams. It's something that most MLS teams have. And a few years back, Colorado Springs Switchbacks actually came to us and said, "Hey, we need more teams in the USL who are doing this, and specifically within USL Championship." And our community director at the time, Kevin Burdick, had some friends at the Special Olympics office, and we started with just doing a clinic in the summer of 2023. And I went to Kevin and I said, "Hey, I was working as a camps and clinics coach for Sac Republic at the time," and said, "Hey, didn't you know I've been coaching Special Olympics for a long time? How do I get more involved with this? What's going on with this clinic?" And he said, "Hey, we're trying to start a unified team." I said, "That's amazing. I've been wanting to get unified soccer started in Sacramento for a while. So what can we do?" And he's like, "Cool, you're the coach now." So we played one match in 2023. We played four in 2024. This year we have, if you count our upcoming matches, we'll have, I believe it's seven total for this year. But yeah, it's just an awesome experience, and we can kind of talk a little bit about what we have coming up down the pipeline and what's going on right now.
So the floor is yours, and I'm so glad you got involved. Interesting, you were voluntold. I like that.
Yeah, I started coaching soccer with Special Olympics when my daughter, who is now 24, was 8. So I've been coaching in the fall out here in Placer County, coaching with Special Olympics soccer for a really long time. And then, like I said, when all the kind of everything kind of merged together back in the summer of 2023, it kind of seemed like everything was aligned, and right now we've grown our roster to 26 players. We have 17 athletes who are those with intellectual disabilities and meet the Special Olympics qualifications, and we have 9 partner players. Our partner players range anywhere from friends and family of the team to longtime season ticket holders. In fact, this year at our tryouts, we had a guy, Matt, who came out, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I don't know you. Like, how'd you hear about us? What's going on?" He's like, "I've been a season ticket holder since 2014. I saw something posted online, thought I'd come check it out." And he made the cut. So we hold tryouts at the beginning of every season. Colorado Springs Switchbacks is the one team in the USL Championship, or the one club that also has a unified team. So we try to play home and away against them. But we also go up against, some MLS teams. We've played the Earthquakes twice already this year. Played against LAFC and LA Galaxy. We had a tournament, a Best in California tournament for the first time this summer down in LA, where all 4 unified teams, us, San Jose, and the 2 LA teams, came together for the weekend to play matches against each other and kind of crown Best in California. LA Galaxy ended up taking that tournament. Their unified team is actually undefeated this year. They just took down Inter Miami last weekend. So, they're having an amazing season, and just getting a chance to go up against them, to travel with the amazing athletes we have on the team. It's something we want to continue doing. And of course, like most things, you can't really do it without the funding and support of your community, our unified community, which is why that's there on the scarf. And lately, we've been really pushing to try to get this trip to go out to Colorado Springs when the first team does at the end of September. And I can say we've gotten pretty darn close to our goal, if not there. We're confident enough that we're going to get there, that we've booked our flights and made our hotel reservations and everything like that. But we still have a couple events coming up. This past week, we partnered with Raising Cane's, one of the club restaurant partners, and had a great fundraiser there. Waiting on the totals for that, but I can tell you, everybody that I heard, lots of great things, and lots of support from the club and from our supporters in going to that event. The big exciting one for us we have coming up, of course, is the trip to Colorado Springs on September 20th, when the first team goes to take on Colorado Springs Switchbacks. And then immediately we're going to turn around right after that and hopefully ride that wave from the match against Colorado Springs and we're going to go up against Tower Bridge Battalion. We're going to take them on Wednesday, September 24th, down at CRC. We're actually training at CRC, behind the fields where the first team plays. We don't want to mess up their grass for them because they've got the really nice grass, but there's some grass fields back there that we're going to be training at during the month of September, and not only getting ready for Colorado, but getting ready for Tower Bridge Battalion as well.
So do us a favor, and if you can, before we close out the interview, if you can in the chat drop the link for the donations, and we'll post it in our banner. I think Luis can pick that up and throw that in the banner. I know it doesn't look like a Sac Republic link, but it is.
Yeah, it's actually through the Sac Republic Foundation. So,
right.
Everything that we're doing raising the funds is through the Sac Republic's nonprofit foundation, which typically prior to the season is mostly used to install futsal courts all throughout the community as well. But with the growth of the unified team this year, we've kind of branched the foundation out a little bit and given them another initiative to really kind of get the community to come behind us and support us with that. So we're also looking for one more home match later this year. Right now scheduled for October 5th. So that's when the first team will play their early afternoon, typical Sunday match towards the end of the season. And the idea is when they kick off at 4 o'clock that day, shortly afterwards, they'll have some post-game stuff on the field and things like that. But while that's happening, our team and our opponent is going to be warming up in the background, ready to take the pitch. So hopefully some fans are able to stick around after that match if they have tickets to the match. Your ticket is a doubleheader, so stick around. You don't have to pay anything extra. Just stay and support and cheer on a whole nother team of Sac Republic.
So interesting you would say that we actually get a chance to see them again. Well, number one, against the Tower Bridge Battalion, which is going to be a total hoot. Are you going to let the TBV folks have a little something to drink? I'm kidding. But I watched the last match when it was after a game, and I was almost in tears because the kids, the Special Olympic athletes are incredibly wonderful to watch. They're so inspiring. I think all of us that stayed and watched it were just it was just wonderful experience. So I would encourage everybody on October 5th to hang out and watch and just be so proud of that team and what you've accomplished, with the whole thing. And then to donate. We want to get you guys to Colorado Springs and whatever else you need. I mean, this is not the end of fundraising. This is going to be ongoing, correct?
Yeah, and this is something we're looking to continue year after year after year. Like I said, we started with in 2023 only having just one match where we played against the San Jose Earthquakes at home that year, and then last year we grew it out. This year we grew it out. Next year we're in early talks about potentially being the ones that host the Best in California tournament. Sharon, we're looking at the nice big beautiful turf at BSP down there in your backyard maybe next summer, bringing all the teams in California out to do the tournament here in Northern California. There's 2 teams in Special Olympics Northern California, 2 teams in Southern California. So it only seems fair that we alternate each year. And again, we really want to, show people that there's opportunities out there, not just to cheer us on, but to also join in. Like I said, Matt Brisano, who's one of our partner players, joined this year. Longtime Tower Bridge and Levee Patrol guy. Came out to tryouts and said, look, this is something I want to see, if I can have fun doing this as well. And, he absolutely loved it. And we've got players anywhere from 16 to 35 plus that are on the team that are all playing side by side, and they get to travel. You get a jersey that's the exact same jersey as the first team. In fact, it's not even the one you get in the retail store. It's the vinyl patch one instead of the sublimated printed one. So it's kind of a little extra special. And, so you get your own jersey, you get your travel gear, you get a training kit just like the first team has, and it's just a really awesome experience to be able to say that you get to represent your club and your community at that level. For a lot of these athletes, they've spent a lot of their life being told what their limitations are. And we want to prove to people that those aren't always true. They can go on and do great things, and they can go on and they can play on a pitch like HHP or, the upcoming brand new stadium in 2027. And they deserve a right to do that. So.
That's excellent. Now I know you had some player supporters at the
Mhm.
match that I witnessed, and they were inspirational as well because they were invested. I mean, they were 100% invested in these athletes, and you could tell.
Yeah, we actually a couple weeks before that match, when we unveiled the training kits and the jerseys to the players, we actually did a locker room reveal, and had Good Day Sacramento come out. It was a weekend when the first team was away, so we went into the locker room at HHP and converted the names on the top of each locker to the last names of the unified team players, and we had our own little mini media day and everything. And there were some players, it was on a Sunday, so there were some players who had come back, or no, sorry, they had a bye that weekend. It was the early season bye. So we had some players in town, and we had 4 or 5 players join us for that media day. And then a couple weeks later, when we played that match against Colorado Springs, Ryan Spalding, Jared Mazzola, Freddie Kleeman, I think Christian Prano was out there, Sebastian Herrera was out there. They were cheering on the team. Um, Thankfully enough, that was the first time we got a win. That was our first win. We beat Colorado Springs for the first time, and yeah, that was the first win in program history. So having those first team players out there to really support the team and everything was awesome. And the results have continued to come in this year. We tied against the San Jose Earthquakes. We tied against LAFC. So we're getting there. LA Galaxy is a little bit bigger of a challenge, but it's good to know that nobody in MLS has been able to take them down either. So, you know what? I'll be happy with that.
There you go. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on, and you can see the link right on our in the banner, how to donate. Yeah. Yep. So, and it's a short link. It kind of converted it, I guess, but there's okay.
That's Luis's tech skills right there.
Yeah.
I kind of shortened it too. Yeah, I don't think it would have been really long for people to type, but yeah, people could visit that link there and check it out. We'll share the actual full link on the show notes for everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to keep track of what's going on with the unified team, we are on Instagram as well, SRFC_unified_soccer, I believe it is. I should know better because I manage the page. Yeah, SRFC_unified_soccer. So feel free to kind of follow us there. We don't have Jared's meme game or anything, but we try to keep everybody posted and everybody happy with the graphics that we post on there, and keep everybody up to date with what's going on. And we'll definitely have some pictures and everything to share, not only from our Colorado Springs trip, but from the upcoming TBB game. And then once we figure out who our opponent is for our October match, it's either going to be San Jose Earthquakes or it's going to be a team down in Fresno. Believe it or not, there's a unified team down in Fresno that is going to the Special Olympics USA Games next summer in Minnesota and representing all of Northern California. And they're looking for a few competitive matches to kind of stay fresh before they take that trip out to Minnesota next summer. So we may be bringing them up here either later this year, early next year, to kind of play a match against them as well, and make sure we really showcase that Unified is here to stay and it's all over, and there's lots of ways to get involved. So we want to make sure we give everybody that same level of opportunity.
Thank you.
So yeah,
2 questions. Who would you no, I'm not going to do this to Rion. Do you think Rion's going to earn the crown this season?
I feel like he's got the behind the scenes intelligence going. I've been keeping up on the Quail City Post and everything, and he's got some stuff going on there, but there's a little bit of homegrown luck that's got to go to it as well. I know the chicken winner duder. It could be anybody's game, and sometimes you just get one hot weekend and you can get a 2 or 3 point swing, and it could take you from worst to first real quick.
Exactly.
So don't get comfortable, but enjoy it while you're up there, Rion.
So I do not mind.
I'm enjoying it.
He's enjoying it way too much. You can DM me your picks, Philip, and I will secretly allow you to be my proxy. But no, you don't have to do that. So,
there you go.
And then the other question I had for you How about that Hella Cup that TBB over all the other supporter groups
Mhm.
just won last night?
Yeah, I was trying to keep track of that, and I look like one of those detectives in the serial killer scenes with the strings going everywhere, trying to keep track of all the different matches and what was going on. And I was like, man, I don't know, are we gonna win it? Are we not gonna win it? Like, I'll take it, whatever we can get.
Well, thankfully with Oakland beating Monterey last night, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that clinched us. So
Yep.
we're good. But we're gonna still beat Monterey in real on the 27th with the first team. We don't, irrespective of the supporters group and the Hella Cup.
Yeah, the boys are doing pretty well right now and getting things done and playing the way that they want to play. So, we're going to keep supporting them and, hopefully things turn out for the best towards the end of the season. And you never know. We've got some opportunity still to bring home some silverware. We don't want to jinx anything, but hopefully all the stars line up and performances go the way we'd like them to go, and we can have a super successful season. And with all the excitement around the stadium progress and new coach and all this stuff, it's would be a pretty amazing story to write come the end of the season. So
Exactly.
yep.
You guys, any other questions for Filip?
Actually, I do have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we get this new stadium built, are we thinking of having unified games in the stadium?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we try to do as much as possible is to really create that experience. And Todd and Catherine, our new community director, they are in full support of the unified team. I know I've even had some conversations with the new owners out at Wilton Rancheria, and everybody's um, really excited to see what we can do going forward, especially with the new stadium. We're obviously, not rescheduling any first team matches or anything like that. We're not quite that important, but we'll take the field time when we can get it, and we want to create that experience for these athletes and for the fans to get an opportunity to support these athletes, but also give these athletes an experience to play on the same pitch in the same stadium and things like that. And I can tell you from experience, I actually jumped in when we were short on player partners for a match last year at HHP. It's pretty cool playing on that grass and playing in that stadium, and it's a little different than anywhere else that you're used to. But it's a really cool experience. We've had some people who've been on the team all 3 seasons, both as our athletes and as our peer partners as well. And they'll tell you, just like you hear from the first team players, playing in that stadium, in that location, there's nothing like it. So we want to try to replicate that and do that as much as we can.
I want to know, so like, how do players try out for the team? For anyone who might be listening, who might have an interest in being on the team sometime, what's the process like?
Yeah, so we do an open tryout usually in February. So we'll do a few hours on the weekend where for the first couple hours we run through different skills sessions and clinics and things like that to kind of evaluate everyone's skills. And then for a lot of people, the Special Olympics athletes especially, they don't normally play 11v11 on a large size field. They typically in their Special Olympics competitions play 5v5. So giving them the experience of what it's like to play 11v11, playing on a field that's 4, sometimes even 5 times larger than what they're used to, it can be very eye-opening. So we spend the last couple hours of our tryouts doing that as well. It's open to the public. We post a registration link on our website, on our community page, as well as our the Special Olympics page as well, because it is a partnership with Special Olympics. The Unified Team does have their own web page as well. If you go to the Sac Republic homepage under the community tab, scroll down their list to the Unified Team, you can actually go there and check out all the players, a little bit of schedule information, as well as some pictures from some past matches in there. But that's where we're going to post the information for the upcoming tryouts for 2026. Every year it's a clean slate. It's not a fun process for me to let people know that they're not included on the team. It's not easy, but that's part of being the coach. And so, yeah, we invite as many people as are interested that want to come out. It is a weekly commitment. It's a pretty big commitment. We train pretty much from February till October every week, once a week. And so, we will play matches as early as March. This year we played Colorado Springs at home on March 22nd. We won't play them away until September 20th. So, it can be a long season. We take some breaks every now and then. After the LA trip, we took a week or two off from training to kind of let everybody relax and reset and maybe enjoy their summer a little bit. But yeah, after that tryout process in February, um, we do that on a Saturday typically or a Sunday, and then immediately the following week we start our training, and we train on a weekly basis for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on what we got going on.
I love the fact that your family, the whole Handl family, is involved with this, and especially Taylor, and that's just it's a real sweet family endeavor, and you've made this whole situation, you and your wife have made it very special for all of us to enjoy. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting for me. It's the first time I've coached both my daughters on the same team, because one of them was always playing Special Olympics and one of them was always playing, traditional club soccer. And my other daughter, Megan, was rehabbing from an injury. She's a goalkeeper, and actually had shoulder surgery in the middle of her college season last season. So was looking for something to kind of get competitive and train regularly and not mess up and get ready for the upcoming college season. So we actually had her and one other player from that American River College team who was also rehabbing, who was player partners for us early in the season. And they've since gone back to playing college. So we don't want to mess with their college eligibility or anything like that. But they're off doing great things for American River right now. So it was nice for me to be able to coach both of them at the same time. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you again. I know I speak for the whole podcast hosts, the whole squad here. Really appreciate you taking the time on a Sunday, especially before Labor Day, the actual Labor Day. And yes, yeah. Players are employees. So, players count when it comes to honoring those who are being honored on Labor Day tomorrow. So
players and coaches as well. Don't forget
players
your coaches.
And coaches. Right. Coaches. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Always wonderful. Thank you. Because he's the current leader. Whoa. Did that just come across? I'm sorry.
I think, thankfully, thanks to the delay, we weren't able to hear that, or on the recording. The recording wasn't able to hear that. Okay. Sadly for Rian, because then Rian would have been like, hold on, cut that part and then put it in a reel. All right, let me go ahead and restart. All right, well, once again, thanks to Filip for being on the podcast. And so let's go ahead and get right to Golazos of Gratitude, Sharon.
Sure. So, number one, I want to thank Filip Handl for coming on and explaining so much about the unified team and, where things are going and how things are headed. That was just that. I've been wanting him to come on our podcast for a while now. And so it was really great to hear from him. And then behind the scenes, we got even more chatty about things. And he basically dissuaded me from picking him as a proxy, but you just never know, you get lucky every once in a while. And my other Golazo of gratitude, and we're all going to echo it, is not only to the club for winning, for beating New Mexico United, but soundly beating them, and for Khori Bennett scoring 2 goals and Danny Vidiolo getting a clean sheet. Man, that was something else. I really appreciate that. And then also for TBB for hosting watch party. I did not go. It was just too hot. But I heard, I saw Chris apparently was there. It was great. Jared, what about you?
Well, some local Golazos of gratitude here definitely goes out to Domino's Pizza, who kind of helped me out with my final working weekend here, since I'm going to be changing up schedule. Had a great promo for any pizza for $9.99, so that kind of helped pass the time and got my stomach full here. Also, glasses of gratitude going out to Amtrak, who's going to help me get ready for this trip to Dallas here in a couple of days during Labor Day. Also to the club for sadly sweeping New Mexico this time on the road, because it's always tough to play there at the lab, but it turned out great. And also, once again, thanks to Filip for taking the time to speak with us about the Unified Team and all their doings. And, of course, the match coming up later on in September. I would love to sign up to play, but, of course, being a few states away gets in the way of that. But definitely can't wait to hear how the rest of that goes later on. So now let's head up to Thomas. What do you got for us for Glasses of Gratitude, Rian?
Yeah, once again, thanks to the club for winning against New Mexico. It's a tough place to play. Again, thanks to Filip for hopping onto the podcast and giving us a little peek behind the curtains for stuff that is coming in terms of the Unified Team and like stuff beyond. But my Golossos, firstly to college football, just returning. I'm a stats person, but I enjoy the chaos of college football, college sports in general. So this opening weekend has been fun to watch. Golosso to Lee Corso, longtime host of College Game Day. I grew up watching him for like a long time. And it's good to see him go off into retirement. Golosso to the UC Davis football team for coming from behind and beating Utah Tech. And we are one more Golosso. We are recording this podcast on August 30th. I know I shouldn't be dating this podcast, but like August 31st. And tomorrow is September 1st, and that's the start of Christmas season. So I'm happy for that. So Golosso there.
Oh my God. You're killing me.
Well, it's Christmas. What other holidays are there?
As he continuously adjusts his crown.
Yeah, no,
It's not
he
gonna last
wishes
forever.
he wishes it were Christmas because he wants the competition to be over with. But there's still a long time till November, right? And it might even be late November is what we're hoping. Is when Podcast Winter Dinner actually finishes, right, and not early November. For my Golosso of Gratitude, this one goes out, and I normally don't have Golosso of Gratitude about food, but it goes out to the Burger Patch team in Sacramento. For those of you who didn't know Burger Patch, by the way, that's the reason why I'm wearing this shirt right here, their Be Kind shirt. They're actually a vegan fast food restaurant that started back in 2017 in Midtown as a pop-up. They had they're actually were selling their burgers also at Golden One games back in 2019. Pandemic came through. I think something happened, and they were able to like stay at Golden One. But they ended up having a few other locations around. Over the years, they had to close them, but they kept their original Midtown location. And as of tomorrow, as of this recording on Labor Day, they're going to be closing down their doors, unfortunately, because of financial issues. But shout out to them for bringing great tasting plant-based food, because not all plant-based food is great tasting, but it was nice for us to have a good, healthier fast food option available in Sacramento by people who actually came to Sacramento to start this too, because there's not very many places that have it. So just Golosso of Gratitude to them, and hopefully someone comes by and decides to bring the concept once again to Sacramento. And then of course the other one goes out to the team, specifically to Khori Bennett for showing that if you start him in a match, he can deliver, and he delivered right with the brace. And we'll talk about his goals here shortly, but it's really great to see him on the score sheet early on. Right, he hasn't been with us that long, and you know what? We're already seeing him score a few goals, and he should have had a goal back against Oakland. You guys know that we're just still confused about that offside or ball was out situation there, but glad to see him actually get the goals, especially before playoffs. That he's going to be on fire right when playoffs start. So that is that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about yesterday's 2-0 match over New Mexico at the lab, as they call it, which shout out to the Sac Republic social media person, because they used the Dexter's Laboratory meme, which is very appropriate for the occasion, being that, again, it was at the lab. So that was that. But before, as usual, we go over the goals. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. And first, let's go over to Rian. What were your thoughts on this 2-0 match against New Mexico?
And don't say you got the score right, because you did.
Okay, well, so I'm not gonna say that. This is not the section for it yet. For this match, it seems like another pattern where the Republic don't have the possession of the ball, but they seem to be the most threatening. When New Mexico was on the ball, like Sacramento was comfortable in the defense, versus when Sacramento were attacking. Like New Mexico seemed like they were like scrambling to keep track of all the like Republic attackers. 6 shots for New Mexico versus 8 for the Republic, but the big difference is that New Mexico was held to 0 shots on target versus the Republic's 5. Khori Bennett is the obvious standout here, but I want to shout out to Michelle Benitez grabbing an assist. Also shout out to Ran JJ, first start in the championship for the Republic. He seems solid out there. Like all our center backs are solid, and it's great to have a team where beyond the starters, we still have good quality players on the bench who can come in at a moment's notice. So great on him for performing in a tough environment. Yeah, good performance against a quality team, a playoff quality team, and hope to continue this momentum going into Tampa Bay.
So on your topic of JJ getting a start, that made us all question where was Jared Timmer, and then we kind of got a little bit of an answer that he's training with the team. So but I was a little nervous at first because we've talked about how he fits, but last night it seemed as though we weren't missing a beat, and I appreciated what he did on the field. I know he started cramping up towards the end, but that's okay because he left everything out on the pitch. Now, remember, New Mexico, where they play in Albuquerque, is altitude. There's altitude. So our guys were, again, dealing with altitude, and they're going to face that again when they travel to Colorado Springs. They're going to face the altitude issue again. But last night, it was as though they weren't affected by that. So I was pretty impressed with their pace of play. I was impressed with some of the creativity, very impressed with how the ball was distributed. Roro's play was spectacular. I love Michelle Benitez. He was great. There were, there were a couple times where there was a little nerve. I think Lee Desmond had to chase somebody down. And those things always make me nervous. I don't ever want to say those words. Oh my God, they drove a Mack truck through our defense. Well, they don't do that anymore. Nobody does that. Well, okay, touch wood. You never know. But last night was pretty good. Now, Danny Vitiolo, Rion, how many saves did you clock on him that were kind of spectacular? Were there like 2 really, really important saves that he made? One was like a claw grab in the middle of traffic.
USL only has him at 1 save, but
one save. It must be the one I'm thinking of.
There was the one in like stoppage time was incredible when I forget his name, when one of the New Mexico wingers like put it across and it deflected off of Benitez, and like he had just a split second to make that reaction, but that crazy save, yeah.
In crowd, it was in a crowd. And, that's always amazing when your keeper can see the ball like that.
Yeah, the one time he's called upon all match, he steps up and makes it.
Yeah.
I also want to point out one fact about JJ. The last time we saw JJ in action was July 4th against Las Vegas, and before that, it was the May Open Cup match against San Jose. So he has not been getting game time, but it's good to see him ready to go when he needs to.
And look at that beautiful FOP Mob score, 9.0 for Khori Bennett. Deserved.
Yeah. This was definitely a great improvement over the previous week. I mean, there was hardly any ball watching, so nobody was acting like lost planes throughout the match. I mean, even early on, they were making attack after attack after attack earlier on. I mean, it's just amazing just to see the fact that we had less cities, more moving people on offense and defense, just getting opportunities, working New Mexico. They knew New Mexico was on the run. I mean, they've had a losing streak, and thankfully that still continues, and we've actually swept the season. Khori Bennett, I mean, what can you say about him? I mean, he was just amazing. Stand or fall, a great improvement over the past few weeks. I mean, not only one goal, but 2 goals. I mean, how amazing was that? And of course, Danny, doing his thing, keeping the shutout, his 9th clean sheet. So that was just amazing. He's still keeping that going on. I would say by season's end, he'll probably get close to number 15. I mean, that's my guess as far as that goes. And New Mexico, I mean, they only had like a real few chances, but nothing too great. But we're able to lock that down.
Yeah, no, I mean it was a performance that seemed like we were at home, right? I mean, it really didn't even seem that we were traveling, right? Like, did they travel or how do we get there? Because it seemed like we were the home team in this case. Although we should be thankful that we're not playing in a baseball stadium, because those camera angles when you're watching on TV can be a little complicated. Maybe not as bad as Tulsa or El Paso, right? But still, yeah, that's. Hopefully New Mexico is able to play elsewhere someday, because they have a really great fan base and they deserve to have their own stadium out there. But let's go ahead and talk about the goals. Let's go ahead and share them here on the screen for our video viewers on here. All right. So as we mentioned, the Bennett brace that happened. First goal, though, happens in the 52nd minute. And let's just take a look at how Khori ends up obviously not passing the ball, and sometimes we might say like, oh, just pass the ball, right? Don't try and do it on your own. But in this case, you got to give him credit for just taking the shot, going right to it. And I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw this, I was like, wait, that shot seemed too simple, right? Like, did the goalkeeper mess up or what? But when you guys look at a closer look at it, you guys will notice that there was a deflection by Cristian Parano, who happens to get right to it. I think maybe that's what threw the goalkeeper off, right? Because the ball could have been going a different direction. But hey, Cristian Parano just jumped to try and get away with it. But instead of not hitting the ball, it ends up deflecting him, right? And we end up getting the goal. But hey, that's how it works, right? Sometimes you're just trying to get away from the ball and you end up helping the goal happen, right? So what do you guys think of this 1-0 goal by Khori?
Okay, wait, I have a question. I thought it was off of the New Mexico player. Either way, it catches the keeper wrong-footed, and props to Khori for taking the shot, because we've seen it time and time again where a player is in those positions and everybody in the crowd is yelling to shoot, but they don't shoot. So, props to Khori for trying his luck from distance.
So yeah, it was off
too and see.
It was off Chris Parano. It bounces right off of his left kind of ankle area. And it's funny because the announcers, our home field announcers, Rob McAllister and Adam Moffat, did the rewind. And, because they were like, well, is the goal going to be given to Chris Parano? Thank goodness it didn't get given to Chris Parano, because you would be not alone in the penthouse suite, Rion, if they did give the goal to Chris, because that's who Jared had picked. And Jared, you do not get a VAR review of the call. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Although I think I want to say, was it in the broadcast that they actually put Cristian Parano on the little bar above the goals?
I don't know if you were watching ESPN or Fox 40. I was streaming Fox 40. I don't remember seeing that.
Okay, yeah, I was watching on ESPN Plus. Now that I remember, I think that's what it was. So at first I was like, well, that doesn't seem right? I mean, it was deflection, and we know, as we all know with the rule, right? If a player shoots to goal, if it's going towards goal, doesn't matter who deflects it. If it's a defender deflecting it, it's the player's goal, right? Because it was going towards the goal. It's not an own goal if it hits an opposition. But yeah, that's what I recall seeing was, they thought it was Cristian Parano who had gone in front of it and shot it, but I mean, he just jumped. So
Hey, what a goal!
Yeah, it would have been cool if it got to credit to Cristiano Brano, but it's just additional sunshine in the shade. Either way, it's a goal for us, and I'll take it.
Yeah, no, it was yeah, it's one of those goals to look back on and say like, oh, look, one of those interesting goals there. Now let's talk about the second goal happens in the 69th minute. Once again, as we mentioned, Khori Bennett getting the brace, and I have it in slow motion here. I'll actually speed it up here for y'all. But I just want us to take a look at how much different we look like when we're not ball watching, right? When we're actually like pressing, because you can look at all of our players, right? Rodrigo Lopez, Russell, they were all pressing, and that's what ultimately leads to this goal, right? Because the New Mexico player ends up giving a bad pass, and also Khori ends up being in a position where he's open to receive the ball. He controls it very well, right, to place that shot, because it's not easy to control it there when you have a defender right there behind you and gets the goal. But like, could we do more of this pressing in other games, especially home games? Because that was great.
So the tactic that they're using, and it's interesting, is almost like I don't lack a better term, swarm tactic. You pen them in when they're in their defensive third, and they're just they don't have like full control or confident control of the ball, and you pen them in. And I've heard that term used before, pen them in, and that's exactly what our players did together as a unit. They saw that opportunity. It's a very good player, good coach too, but it's a really, really astute player to realize when the other team is weak, when they have some chinks in their armor, to know that you can pen them in their defensive third. And that's oftentimes where they'll cough up the ball, because they're playing more frantically, because we've penned them in. They're having a harder time finding an open player, and our guys were not stopping running. If you saw Russell Cicerone, he ran and ran and ran and ran. And it's altitude, you got to give these guys credit for not stopping. It was just amazing to watch what they did together as a unit, which basically speaks to the fact that they are gelling at the right time. And I don't want to say those words peaking, but peaking, when the guys concede those opportunities as a unit. Okay. That's all I have to say about that. But the shot was great. But the buildup was even, penning them in. Pen them in.
Yeah, there's this Twitter X Blue Sky account somewhere that's called when playing out the back goes wrong. I feel like this is like the perfect encapsulation of that. New Mexico's struggling just to find any space in their own territory, and Sacramento just strangles the life out of their like passing scheme. Yeah, shout out to Michel Benitez for stepping up when he needed to, and hitting a great one-time ball and finding Khori Bennett in open space in New Mexico's box, which is weird to say. But yeah, great press and great energy. Even in like the 69th, 70th minute, Sacramento was still going for it. Good to see.
But look at how sleepy their defenders were. Look how alone Khori Bennett was. Look at him. He was all alone. And the one outside left defender put him on side. He could have taken 3 steps and Khori would have been off, but he was snoozing. He was ball watching. He was watching something happening on the other side of the field, as opposed to like Khori Bennett all by himself, 5 yards on either side of him, nobody marking him. And then it was like, oh, shoot. You could tell the player was having an oh shoot moment. So that's definitely something their coach is going to have to talk to these guys about. It's like, you guys, you can't do this. The goalkeeper is not responsible for marking Khori Bennett. Come on. But let's not give away all the secrets. We're hoping that this coming weekend that Khori Bennett finds lots of room. Should he start, or whoever, I don't care. Pick a player, find room. We can do this.
I was just loving the attacking pressure that we were putting on one side, on another side, right down the middle. I mean, it was enough to even have Greg Hurst questioning how much is enough as far as this power goes. I mean, you had one attacker pass it on, one thing leads to another, and Khori ends up getting a second goal, becoming the latest dentist on the Indomitable Club. So Don't worry, he takes all insurance. He'll give you brace left and right going forward here.
Yeah, no, that's the new dentist, right? And the dentistry we've had along the years here. I also want to give credit to Nick Ross, right? If you guys look at the replay, Nick Ross is out, right? He could have just chosen just to stay over there, right? Because he didn't have to put the pressure up front, but he decides to pull a big run over there to the player who gets to the ball. He does his part right there, right? Because when the player ends up losing the ball, he's got three players literally around him, right? Forming like a triangle of sorts there. And he messes up because of that. So, yeah. So shout out to Nick Ross for pulling that run. Like you called it, Sharon, right? Pin him in. They got to keep pinning every single game. Like keep doing that because it helps, right? You're going to catch them messing up like that. And that's how we...
You don't give them space to pass, just like Rion said. You just don't give them any space to pass. You pen them in. It's like when you do the first defender, second defender kind of a thing. You know, there's a couple things. Sorry, my mind is like everywhere. You watch the ball. The minute the player with the ball is looking down to see where the ball is, that's when you start moving in closer. When they have to look down and see the ball at their foot. Sometimes players don't need to do that, otherwise known as messy. But you know, this level, every now and again, you're going to glance down. You're going to put your head down. That's when you start sliding in. It's kind of like a cattle dog sneaking up on a sheep to pen them in. And, you know, it's like that little move. And the next thing you know, when the player goes to make a pass, the one that they thought they had, and they go to make it, it's not there anymore. And then all of a sudden it's like defender blindness. You just passed it to us. Thank you. We'll take it. And we'll just give it to Khori Bennett and score.
Yeah. And Khori knows where to be at, and now you know we know the kind of player he is. So, really happy that we got him. Yeah,
he's a poacher.
So that was that. That was so the game ended 2-0 was the final score line, and as I mentioned at the beginning, there were 3 points that we needed to get. Right, we can't lose points. You got to start moving so that way the last few weeks of the season we can be in a better spot and not be trying to count the points to qualify for playoffs, but more so count the points for home advantage, which is what we should be doing at the end of the season every year, and not so much the other. So that was that. And so let's take a look at USL standings. How are things looking like after this 2-0 win? So we are still in second place because FC Tulsa is still in first place. So FC Tulsa's got 42 points. They have 22 games played, though, so one more game than we do. And we're sitting with 34 points. So currently, as it stands, we are 8 points behind them. But should we win the match that we have to play to catch up to them in games played, we could potentially be 5 points away from them. So not that far off, right? I mean, we could still make it there. But again, you just want to keep moving up so you could assure a top 4 finish. Below us, though, we got El Paso, who beat us last week. They're still down there. That's why it was critical that we would get some points from them, but thankfully we're above them. They have 32 points, 21 games played. Below them, Uncle Ruckus in 4th with 30 points, 21 games played. 5th place, Phoenix Rising, who we will be playing in about 2 weeks here. And also another critical game, by the way. I know Phoenix was low in the table in the past weeks, but they're moving up. They're rising, right? Literally. 22 games played, one more than we do at 29 points. And then below you got Orange County with 28 points, Lexington with 28 points, like having one more game than we do. New Mexico is in 8th with 27 points and 20 games played. Again, that's what made the win even better because they could have potentially been up there close to us and with the match in hand. And then below them, you got Colorado with 21 games played, 27 points. Oakland Roots with 24 points. Monterey also with 24, although they have 23 games played. And then sitting in last another week is Las Vegas Lights with 23 points and 22 games. So, yeah, that's how the standings are looking like currently.
Way, in the Eastern Conference, Louisville already clinched.
Yep, 51 points out of 22 games played.
I know it doesn't show it there, but it did show it on the USL page. The official USL page showed them clinching.
Yep,
Yeah,
seeing that.
And
Top
no
of the
likelihood
East-
having home matches. Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, they're going to be hosting
Yeah.
potentially almost everything. There's a good chance.
The top of the East might not be interesting, but that final playoff space is looking like a fun race going into the final streak of the season. Rhode Island, Indy, Tampa, Birmingham, Miami, all within a reasonable shot for that final spot.
Yeah, if only Rhode Island could just focus on keeping that playoff ticket and not so much on on the following game, that would be great. Go ahead and field your bench players and focus on staying in playoffs, right?
Yeah, and speaking of Eastern Conference, I mean, how good was that Birmingham Orange County match? I mean, that was just a gunslinger fight. I mean, left and right, even with that own goal that was scored. I mean, I was pulling for Birmingham. I mean, they're kind of down bad this season. I mean, even with Coach Briggs. I mean, Briggs is awesome, but I hate to say it, he's not a miracle worker. I mean, he doesn't have much miracles left with this kind of lineup that he has. So I'm hoping Birmingham gets something going a little bit further. But there were also some other good matches. I mean, Phoenix nearly pulled a Phoenix last night. 3-0 lead. They end up giving it up. And thankfully it was only a tie, but you know Phoenix is going to Phoenix. They always do.
Yeah, no, that Orange County own goal, right? Well, probably craziest own goal that we'll ever see.
I've seen crazier and worse. James Musa, when he was playing for Phoenix, playing against New Mexico, goalkeeper for Phoenix tries to clear it out, hits James Musa in a very sensitive spot, and goes in. So,
oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
this one was the most bizarre. It's it's almost like a Roro shot from midfield, but it was against his own team, and it was sad to see it. It was sad to see the reaction of the keeper, but it was just like one of those things. You got to move on. But yeah, what a match. Anyhow, we got to get back to talking about next week's match and podcast winner dinner.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised you want to talk about podcast winner.
Hey,
Dude,
I still got a point.
Well, yeah, but
but I know.
the crown still in
Yeah.
it.
Whatever.
But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about our upcoming opponent. Well, as it stands in the standings, they're sitting in 10th place, right? Which is unnatural for Tampa Bay, but they haven't been having the seasons that they've had in the past, right? 21 games played, 21 points is their current record. And if we look at matches, what's their recent form looking like? Yesterday, they actually beat Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2-1. Before that, they lost against Detroit at Detroit 2-0, tied against Phoenix at home 1-1, lost against North Carolina away at 2-1, and then beat Indy 11 away 3-1. So, yeah, they've kind of been winning, lost, like 2 games in the mix. So, yeah, but they did win their last game, so that's kind of what's carrying them through, and it was at home, so they get to host the 2 consecutive weeks here. So that is what that is looking like, right? Tampa Bay with Coach Collins making his return to Tampa Bay. Like, I think that's going to be interesting to see, right?
Well, not just Coach Collins, but a couple of other former players as well. So they'll be coming back for the first time since signing up with the Republic FC. So that's definitely going to be an interesting time there.
Yeah, Freddie Kleeman and Ryan Spalding, they get, go back to kind of what was laying the foundation for having them come here with all the success that they had with Coach Collins. So, Rian, I'd like to hear your thoughts about this upcoming match because you're the stats guy.
Man, you wanted me to give my secrets away early. Okay. My thoughts, it's a pretty cagey match. Last time we visited Tampa, it was a 1-1 draw in 2023 with Nick Ross scoring on the night. 2024, they came to Sacramento and beat us 1-0. Those are our only 2 times we've played Tampa Bay, so even though they might not look like a top team in the standings, this is still a solid franchise, solid support. Al Lang is a tough stadium to play in. It's going to be a tough affair to get 3 points out of.
Yeah, not to mention the weather conditions, right? We know it's never easy to play out in Florida, and yeah, as you mentioned with the stats, we haven't beat them. Granted, it's only been 2 games, right? But still, we haven't beat them yet. So, you know.
Well, in all fairness, the rough weather tends to come around halftime. Believe me, I know.
That's true. You were at the game that they played at Tampa, right? Is that the
Mhm.
one time?
Yep.
Yeah. So, so be on the
Okay.
lookout for that. It should start at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday, but there could be weather delays. If there's some thunder that's not even there, and it's 50 miles away, there could be a delay. Oh, Sharon's
Yeah,
got something to show.
if you look at the predictions for weather, thunderstorms and lightning, very, very frightening, and high temperatures for the daytime highs. So thunderstorms are predicted, and if there's lightning, it's going to be a game delay. So hold on to your hat.
Don't be surprised if we see red skies at night.
So, all right. Well,
Yeah.
the plan for 4:30, but in all likelihood, it'll probably start at 6 p.m. or 6:30. But have your TV on at 4:30 just in case it happens to start. But yeah, that's not a good sign. I think it was raining in the second half of that 1-1 tie, right, Jared? I remember. I think there was rain, right? It wasn't just thunder.
Yeah. There was. I mean, not too terribly far to maybe one thunderstrike or anything like that, but it was just mostly rain. I mean, it started off with like stoppage time of the first half, really kicked off during halftime, and then maybe a couple of minutes before the second half started, it started to taper off. So you never know.
Well, hopefully the players can be careful out there because playing in that weather is not good, right? You never know what can happen when you're playing in that kind of weather. All right. Well, the moment that Rian mainly probably has been waiting for is now here. Let's go ahead and talk about podcast winner dinner and how things went this past week. So let me go ahead and share the spreadsheet with all the score lines here. So
Hey, I have a question before we get going. Are we picking 3 games because they're going to be away, home, and the Jägermeister Cup falls on that Wednesday, the 10th, right? Wait, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait.
We still have a Sunday before the Jägermeister Cup game.
Yeah, that'll be the week after the following.
Thank you for that. All right, I'll just go over here and sit by
so
the
much. I've been a full slate right there to pick.
I am so retreating into the background. Okay, back into my head.
Almost like the Simpsons meme, right?
Yeah.
The Homer Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm ahead of myself. You know what I think? I've been doing this. I thought that the Jägermeister Cup game was this Wednesday. And I had this Wednesday as the 10th, right? For 2 weeks, I kept thinking it was going to be this Wednesday. So forgive me.
Yeah, but next week, we're gonna have a lot to pick from, and anything can happen, right? It's the cup next week, and more points to be given. So watch out, because we might have a new first place person, and it might not be the ones that are currently in the top 2 that will be there. But in yesterday's match, few points were given, but Sharon did get 1 point for picking New Mexico as the first yellow card. And then Rian got 2 points for not only picking New Mexico as the first yellow card, but also for guessing the right scoreline 2-0. And if this would have been next year's competition where we kind of brought up the idea of giving more points for the right scoreline, he may would have gotten more, maybe potentially double, whatever we decide. But it's not next year, so thankfully he only gets 1 point, not more than that. But the standings right now are as follows. Rian is now or continues to be, I should say, in first place, but he's gaining some lead there, 29 points. Sharon is in second with 27 points. Jared's in third with 26 points, and I'm still in the basement with 23 points. But again, 2 games next week, anything can happen, or I should say the following week, 2 games with the cup game included. So a lot could happen in 2 weeks.
Petition to end the competition now. Anyone else agree? No? Just me?
Just you.
Just me?
Just you.
Oh, come on. Let's
Voting
end
doesn't
it now,
proceed.
guys.
It's got to be majority vote. Otherwise, yeah.
Gosh, the giggle. That giggle needs to be like patented because there have been people that have commented to me about your giggle. Thank you. Yeah, right?
I don't know. I'd say, like Luis is saying, aside from this upcoming weekend's match, the following week, the Jägermeister Cup, and of course, the game flying out to the Phoenix for that. I mean, those extra points could be driven out away from Rion and could be coming to somebody else. So you never know. It just matters on how we play it.
Or I could just get more points.
I mean, there's that. But if you pick the wrong first yellow card team, that's where you start dropping points. So don't be surprised if we all predict whatever you don't predict for first yellow card, because that might be the new strategy for the points here. And actually, speaking of that, given that you're first place, I think we should establish a first place has to predict first rule, right? What do you guys think? We vote for that, Sharon, Jared? Yeah.
He went first last time, remember?
I did go first.
But that might be a rule, right? First place goes first.
That and also he wore the opposing team's kit. So
that is right. I don't have a Tampa Bay kit. I'm wearing like this weird Conch Republic kit. It's this made up team from Icarus FC about this dude who tried to start his own country in Florida, and he called it Conch Republic, so I'm going with it. I don't have any, besides my Miami kit. No,
you're gonna have to save that for the season finale.
So Conch Republic kit out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's the closest I got.
You got a Florida kit on. So
yeah,
I'm a diehard. I just keep the Republic shirt. I washed it between times, but whatever.
All I'm saying is we need a sponsor for someone to help me get the 50th anniversary kit from Tampa Bay. That would have been great.
Yeah, no, that would have been one too. But remember, Jared said if you need a Phoenix one, you should start.
Yeah, I got contacts. I got contacts for Phoenix, but for Tampa, best I can do is maybe phone someone with Publix. Maybe the Publix store or something like that, since they sponsor the Rowdies.
Wait, Coach Collins. He probably has a jersey.
Oh yeah.
Send him a message.
Get somebody to bring it. It's like I bet they have extra kits laying around that he would love that he could bring back. So maybe we'll have to figure a way. Hey, if any of you guys, okay, if any of you guys, I know Ryan Spalding doesn't listen to the podcast, but if any of you guys who used to play for Tampa Bay, if you're listening to this and you can finagle a jersey for Rion, we would always.
That'll be wild.
Yeah. Well, we would never talk bad about you, even though you might have sucked in a game. We just won't go there if you can do that for Rion. Yeah, we will. We'll still talk
and this call goes out to any former players of any former teams out there in the USL. If you just want to get a free jersey from me, that'd be good too.
All right. Not asking for much, just a jersey.
Just a jersey.
Well, it would be great, if one of the former players could just let you, even they might not give it to you, but just wear it. Take a picture, wear it. That's what gives them the bad luck. just wear it. Give it back to them though, because they're just letting you borrow it for the picture. But
just using it as a prop.
Yeah, okay. It's helping. So keep the bad luck, streak for the opposition teams going. All right, Sharon, you said you got first?
I'll go first. So I am thinking that coaches, I know he likes Khori in the Jägermeister Cup because otherwise known as, Spokane, but there's, I'm banking on coach letting Khori run against Tampa. But listening to Rion talk about past history, but it's a different Tampa Bay this season. They're not as brilliant, but they're gunning to stay in the playoff race. God, I don't want to say this, but I'm thinking is it going to be a tie? Rion, you're going to support me no matter what I say because you're going to say something different. Anyhow, you're going to pick a different score line. I'm kind of thinking 1-1 is the score line, a tie. I don't know. I shouldn't. No, change that. I'm going to be more confident. 1-0. We're going to get another shutout. I think Khori's going to be our goal scorer, and if he doesn't see the pitch for some reason, Seba. And I've got Roro with the assist, with Michelle as a backup. First yellow is going to be Sac, and I can't think of who I want to pick for that yellow. Let's see, who's been vicious lately? Who had our yellow? Was it Roro who picked up the yellow first for us this last game?
It was Roro, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's feisty. And Tampa is home to USL, and they don't like us. Right, Jared?
Pretty much.
Okay. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll go with Roro. Why not? Picking up a yellow. I would normally say Freddie. You guys know we all say Freddie, but I think he's... Oh, no! He's playing against his former team. Yes, Freddie.
Wait, we're changing it to Freddie?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, Freddie. He's playing against his former team.
Oh.
He's going to be spicy.
Free my dude, Freddie.
There you go.
Jared?
All right. You know what? I am going to say, Coach Collins, yes, it's going to be a welcome back home match for him as well as Ryan and Freddie, but I don't see any love going through here. So I'm going to say 3-1 Republic end up winning. Khori is going to stay spicy as far as these goals go. So I'm picking Khori Bennett. If he doesn't see the pitch, I'm going to go with I'm going to say Cristian Parano. Let's see. Now, as far as assist, I am going to say Nick Ross and backup of. I'm going to go with Mr. Willie, for assist. First yellow, I am going to say Tampa Bay, and first of our team that's going to get a yellow. That's going to be a difficult one. I almost wanted to say Chibi, but I know he's going to be out for the call-up to the U.S. national team. So instead, I am going to go with, I'm going to go Roro as well. I mean, Roro's definitely got that spicy streak sometimes when it comes to getting calls. And like you said, since we're playing against Tampa in USL town, they're not going to take it easy on them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with Sharon's original prediction because we're playing away, again, temperature situation and weather conditions, just all that in general. I think it could be a factor. And also, the team knows coach. They know how he plays. So he's known there. So I feel like they're going to know that. So 1-1 is my prediction there. For the first goal scorer, it doesn't happen often that we see repeat goal scorers and match to match. I would say like first goal scorer repeat. So I'm going to go with Russell. For the backup, I'm going to go with Seba. For the first assist, I'm going to go with Jack. For the backup, Nick. First yellow card, I'm going to go with Sac. And then for the first yellow card, I'm going to go with Michelle. Rian.
Okay. So my reasoning, Tampa, in terms of the league, they have kept only one clean sheet so far this season. And they are tied for 7th in goals conceded. So it's a leaky defense. In terms of goal scoring, they're 18th in the league for goals, 18th in the league for shots. I don't think this Tampa team is talented enough maybe to break through this staunch Sacramento defense. Then again, Sacramento is on the road. It's funny, Sharon, that you were debating between 1-0 and 1-1. I was doing the same thing. I'm going to go with the Sac 1-0 win. I believe the team will be fired up for Coach Collins. They're playing against his former team. They want to get a win for him. Goal scorers, I'm going to ride the hot hand, go with Bennett. I don't see him not scoring. Backup, I feel like we're due for a Russell goal. Let's throw Russell as backup. Again, I feel like we're due for a Russell assist, so I'm going to have him as my assist with backup. I'll go with Nick Ross. I'm going to go with Sac on the yellow card. Okay, so yellow card for the Republic right now. Michelle, I usually would go with him, but he's 1 yellow away from suspension. So I feel like he's going to try and play passively just to avoid suspensions. Next up, in terms of yellow cards, it would be Freddie with 5, and then a bunch of players with 4: Jack, Nick, Roro, Herrera, and Christian. Out of that bunch, I'm gonna go with a Jacker yellow card.
I like all the predictions that everybody's given because it just feels right. It feels like we know our players. And wouldn't it be funny if like none of our predictions came true at this upcoming match? Sac wins another 2-0 and it's Blake that scores or Roro that scores. Wouldn't that just be like, it would be like, wow, our team is talented all the way through because we've got multiple people that can do different things, including pull a yellow. So this is interesting, but we think we know our team here. We think we know them.
Yeah, so the 3 predictions are the same as Sharon for Jan. So I think I don't know if there was a strategy there, but
he's trying to beat me down. He's trying to hold the girl down.
Which it might work out for Jared and I though. That might actually be if you guys are like fighting amongst y'all and you lose points. Oh, and look at Jared. Jared was like, hold on. Not an intentional exit, but I think his signal probably went out. But hey, it might work out for us. So we'll see. But all right. Well, Jared stepped out, so on this video recording only. I'll probably edit this out on the podcast. Let's wait for him to like come back before we go to final parting words. But yeah, I mean things are looking great for podcast winner dinner, and as we mentioned, we have 2 more games that are going to have so much more points to give, especially the Rhode Island game and the following week. And then if we win that one, we might potentially have another one, right? We know that's how this works. Also, for anyone who didn't listen in past seasons, when it comes to playoff time, we also have these what we call bonus point opportunities. So there's also that. All right. Well, Jared rejoined here. Let's wait. Welcome back, Jared.
I'm thinking my phone must not have liked those predictions or something like that. It just totally shut off for a moment there.
Oh yeah, no, all good. All right. Well, y'all, last final parting words before we say good morning, good night, and see us next week.
Oh, whoops! I'm sorry. I just smacked Rion.
I feel like I'm a peaceful king here. What are you guys? What are you guys throwing me over for? What the heck?
You're too many points ahead of us. Anyhow, everybody have a great week. Let's keep cheering on and keep supporting our boys in Old Glory Red. Although they're kind of wearing other colors nowadays, but go Republic and support the unified team if you can. We will also post the link in the the notes of the podcast when Luis releases the podcast. We'll put that link right in there. So go Republic.
Join to play with the TBB, with the United team. You're more than welcome to make a financial donation. So any little bit helps. Also, let's hope that our boys in red can score plenty of goals so we don't have to pray to be saved by 0 goals scored by Tampa, and go Republic.
Yeah, again, donate to the United team if possible. Keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on our Instagram for Trivia Tuesday, and go Republic.
Yeah, and as for me, make sure you tune into the match next Saturday. Again, starts at 4:30 p.m. is the start time for that one. Again, it might be delayed, but tune in there and we'll find out when the game will actually start. Then after that, get your tickets if you haven't yet to the upcoming match against Phoenix Rising. Jared will be there, so if anyone wants to meet Jared and talk to him and maybe see if he has a beer for you, because I know you're gonna bring some beer right from Texas.
Oh yeah. I've already got a 12 pack of a Ziegenbock. I've got a 6-pack of one other beer and a 6-pack from the same brewery that makes Adios Pantalones. Although the name may be a little a TVMA, so I'll just wait to bring those beers and y'all can see it for yourselves.
Yeah, so that'll be for the game against Phoenix Rising here in about 2 weeks from now. So go ahead and reach out to him at Port Power SOTR, right, on Instagram.
Yep.
So
one last final note, Luis. I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but John Crawford is headed over to across the pond because he's going to take in a couple of matches over at. Oh my gosh! Why did
Huddersfield?
Town? Yeah,
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield Town, and he actually said that he might be giving away his 2 tickets, his regular season tickets for the game on the 13th. But at any rate, we wish John a great trip. However, if he's still around next weekend, it would be great to have him on to give a little spiel regarding what's going on at Huddersfield Town, because that is our sister club over there, brother club, whatever you want to call it. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Have a great trip, John.
Yeah, have a great trip, John. That sounds really fun to be able to go watch them out there, and yeah, hopefully we're able to have him on. That would be really great to hear more of what they have going on out there in League One this season and how things are going for them. All right. Well, with that being said, y'all, again, check out the website, sacsoccerpod.com. You can go and check out Rian's All Is Quell blog. You can contact us. You can leave a review for the podcast, leave a voicemail. You can also watch the video version of the podcast on the episode pages, as I mentioned last week. If you just go on the website, you have the option under every episode page to either listen to it or actually watch the video. Well, I should say as of the last 2 episodes when we started doing also video versions of the podcast. So if you want to watch that, feel free to do that. We share stuff that we're seeing on the screen, especially when we look at goals or look at stats. That's your place to be able to get a visual view of all that as well. And we thank you all for listening to the podcast or watching the podcast episodes now. And you'll hear us next week or watch us here on Sac Republic Podcast.
Cue the music and support the Unified Team.